Good morning, afternoon, evening, or the Truman Show. Some people get in here. We'll start. Billy's not here with us today. He was going to be, but then he decided he was going to go lay down somewhere, so I let him. I didn't figure he needed to be here. Anyway, I thought it would be interesting to talk about lucid dreaming and strange dreams. Hi, Cupie. Talk about strange dreams, lucid dreaming. I've got quite a few resources here that I've searched for and found. And it should be, I think most of us are very curious about lucid dreaming. Some of us actually get to do it sometimes. Hi, Mindy. You got yourself another computer or laptop or something now? I hope. It's really annoying not to have your laptop or computer. Anyway, I can think of only a few times that I've had what I would consider a lucid dream. And basically, let me tell you what that. Let's see if I can find a definition here. Let me get on my thing here so I can. There we go. Turn off the sound. There we go. Okay. What is lucid dreaming? On I'll give you the websites later. Lucid Dreaming Resource Guide that I got from Stefan, not of Saturday Night Live fame, but at HowToLucid.com. I joined their mailing list and they sent me a PDF, and you could do so as well. Basically, they start to talk about, well, what is lucid dreaming? It's the incredible ability to wake up your mind within your dreams and realize you're dreaming. Now, I think a lot of us have had this sort of thing happen. I know I've had a few things. Some of my alien dreams are like this. This lets you do many incredible and possible things, he says, in your dreams, like flying, exploring aliens' worlds, controlling what you dream about and what happens, and much more. I remember purposefully flying in body in my dreams and knowing how to fly and feeling what it feels like to be able to levitate myself. And that's kind of bizarre, at least. And that they say that there's real life situations that you can do to improve the skills and reunite with lost loved ones and yada yada. So this is I'm holding the cat, and I think I've got cat fur on my face. He wouldn't leave me alone. He decided he didn't want to do the live stream with us today, so I don't know. That's okay though. He's kind of distracting. Whatever it is that you want to do in a dream, you can. Hey, Simon and Maria. How are you guys? Anyway, I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you what they say, how to have lucid dreams. And then I'll talk about some really strange and bizarre dreams. And then I have some dream dictionaries pulled up that if you have some part of the dream you want to know what it means, I can look it up for you. And I'll put these links in the description when I'm done here, of course, so that you can do it yourself, look up things yourself. I want to make sure you have the resources the same as I do. Now, this is something you hear all the time. Meditate every day. Now, I haven't been doing this, and you can start for 5 minutes a day, and it's like, I don't know why I've been such a futz in not doing it. I should really do it because it helps me so much. That there's different ways you can do. Do you find this alone can really boost your chances of becoming lucid when you dream? You can start by just doing a simple meditation exercise like counting your breaths from 1 to 10. Set your timer on your phone for 10 minutes, and during that 10 minutes, just focus on counting your breaths. Just count your breaths. The basic thing is to sort of detach from the world around you for just a few minutes. And they say this is very good for you for a lot of things, including depression and anxiety. And I mean, there's no losing side. I know my son and his family, my eldest, are going to do a meditation as a family now, and it's been helping a lot. And, I mean, there's no bad side to quieting your mind for a few minutes once in a while. We live in a world that just smacks us around visually, auditorily, emotionally, and to give everything a rest for just a few minutes is going to be a good thing. Hi, Maria. I always kick off to fly when I know I'm dreaming. I love flying in my dreams. That is the coolest feeling. And you can feel what it feels like to fly. It's like awesome. Now, after meditating just a few minutes a day, you can write your dreams down. Now, this is something I'm also not doing. So, I mean, I can't say that I'm doing it and you're not, I should be, but I do have a little journal near my bed's my room's all torn up right now because we just put a new bed in there. And anyway, get a little journal, get a little notebook, something to put by your bed. Because a lot of times when you first wake up, you'll remember, but then it fades very quickly, unless it's extremely intense. Sometimes those will stick with you. But if you have something to write down on, that's a really cool idea. I know certain people in this room have some dreams, and they're not very pleasant sometimes. And I was, maybe if you can learn to lucid dream, you can turn your dream around, perhaps. I mean, that would be the plus side if you're having a really unpleasant dream, to turn it around in some way through your will to something that's a little nicer to experience. And it says if you can't remember anything in the morning about your dreams, that's fine. Make sure you still write in your dream diary something like no dreams recalled. You can't easily lucid dream if you don't even remember your normal dream. So this is a good practice. Now here's one. Number 3, do reality checks. Reality check for the uninitiated is where you test your reality. You're checking whether or not you're dreaming or awake. I know this sounds crazy at first, he says, but stick with me here. Most of us, probably about 90% of us, live our lives on autopilot. And I'm turning down this light. It's just too bright. There. Jesus, hurting my eyes. You're checking whether or not you're dreaming or awake. You've heard of people when they pinch themselves in a dream. I'm dreaming, and they prick themselves with a pin, or they pinch themselves. He says, I know this can sound crazy, But stick with me here. Most of us, probably about 90% of us, live on autopilot. We don't pay much attention to the world around us. And that habit carries over to our dreams. That is why most people don't naturally lucid dream. When you're dreaming, you basically experience a version of your waking reality and your waking thoughts. So if during the day in your real life, you never pay attention to whether or not the ground is moving or whether or not anything around you seems strange, you also won't pay attention to details in your dreams. This is why, this is cute. This is why people can have crazy dreams where elephants are flying around the sky, but their dreaming mind won't notice that anything's wrong. Yeah, okay. It's because we're not critical or aware enough during our waking life. So I guess it means if you practice being in the moment, being present in the now, so to speak, more, you're more likely to lucid dream. It says begin to change that mindset and constantly question the world around you. Don't assume anything. Make sure you always ask yourself, am I dreaming right now? A reality check is where you take that question and combine it with a physical test. Here's where we go. Something that when done properly, you can tell for certain whether or not you're dreaming or not. Here's my best reality check you can steal. This is what this guy does. Try to push your finger through the palm of your other hand. Really expect it to go through. And as you're pushing it through, ask yourself, am I dreaming? That's different. Okay, and then he talks about different things using binaural beats, which are things you listen to that gets your brain in a certain state. It's important to remember binaural beats usually don't work. If they're lower quality, like the free ones on YouTube, they won't work. But he has a list of companies that actually says that they work. So, and there's a bunch of books and stuff. So get your own PDF. I'll put it up so you can get on his mailing list, which you can keep or not, and get his resource guide. Okay. Yeah, Maria, maybe, you ever think about that we're in a dream? Like the Matrix? That we're not all the way, we're not really here, we're sort of here. I accidentally deleted what GPK said when my phone fell. I am so sorry. That should work. That should be okay now. Trying to be able to see it. Over here. Oh, I need to unhide you. Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. It slipped and did weird things. There we go. I am so sorry. I'm such a dork sometimes. Okay. Now, I'm so sorry. I've learned how to use Reddit. Aren't you proud of me? I have found doppelganger stories, all kinds of weird stuff. And I know some people have recurring nightmares. And I don't know what that really means. I think you have to look at the elements of your dream and try to figure out what it's trying to tell you. If they're precognition dreams, I think it's important to write them down so that if you're experiencing something before, dreaming something before it happens, meditating would probably be really, really, really helpful in helping you control your dreams. Okay, true dreams. I'm trying to find the one on Reddit here. Okay, this was shared by user Geographical Oddities, and it's called Wife's Dreams Becomes My Reality, ? So about 2 months ago, my wife had this dream that took place in our house. She was in the shower, and someone she thought was me walked up and was standing outside of the shower. We have one of those semi-transparent curtains so you can see when someone is out there. She pulled the curtain back, and it was the Hat Man that sleep paralysis victims often see. She's never had sleep paralysis, but I had intense bouts of it as a child. She jumped and quickly closed the curtain, and he was gone. She isn't 100% sure that was a dream. Then she goes to bed, and she's still not sure if this is real or a dream itself. This is when you do that reality check thing. Try to put your finger through your hand. I don't know. I think pinching myself would be better than trying to put my finger through my hand. And the figure returns in the corner of the room. She covered her head with the blanket and said, "This is a dream. I can wake up any time." And the figure jumped on top of her and screamed, "Anytime, anytime, anytime," over and over. She wakes up. This obviously shook her for weeks. Fast forward to the present. Last night I woke up. The figure she described was on top of her, and she had her head covered with the blanket. But I'm not entirely sure I was dreaming. It felt like I woke up again after seeing the figure, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm at work, but I'm still super freaked out. She hasn't woken up yet, so if she had that dream again last night, I'll post an update in the comments or just edit this. Any idea what this could mean? My experience was not sleep paralysis based on my experience, but I cannot say for sure about hers. And he says, seriously, what is this? Now, sometimes we're in that time between sleeping and awake where we're kind of in the half in and half out stage of sleep. And you'll hear something. You'll hear someone say hello or a short phrase, sometime, or a sound. They call this exploding head syndrome. It's like you're dreaming something, but you still feel like you're awake. And so this is sometimes what happens. You'll hear your name called, and it may not necessarily be some entity or anything. It could be just your brain having some kind of a issue. You have to understand, we receive so much input all day, especially now with the age of information we live in. We're overwhelmed with stimuli. So not sure what all that is about. Okay. But I notice a lot of people, a lot of these paranormal experiences happen when they're sleeping. And so the whole idea of lucid dreaming and stuff like that is very important to understand. When are you dreaming? When are you having a lucid dream? And can you control what you dream? And people that have recurring nightmares, perhaps if you can control things, you can sort of break that cycle, or try to figure out why you have the dreams. You might even go to a therapist if you have some kind of chronic issue, to find out if you have like anxiety problems or something like that. But when you have a recurring nightmare, a recurring dream that's not even scary, that still says a lot of things about something going on in your head or in your reality. Okay. Here's a dream on graveyard shift, which I use sometimes. I used to have the same one dream every night when I was around 7. I was in my room, dropped something behind the dresser and reached to get it, and hundreds of spiders swarm out from behind the dresser and wrap me up. I break out and hide under my covers just to have a big one crawl out from underneath my bed and plunge its fangs in me then I'd wake up. That is a bad one. Half the time I was accompanied with scared, sleepy me thinking he saw a spider dash under my covers. So I'd lay there until I either got enough courage to bolt downstairs or fall back asleep from exhaustion. Not so coincidentally, I've been unreasonably afraid of spiders ever since. Still working on getting over that. How horrific. When kids have a bad dream and you just had a bad dream, and you just and you just write it off. You should really respect that your child may have really had a really bad dream, and they just may need you to be with them for a few minutes. They have to face a shadow in the corner every night. This is by Bowie Station 1. There is something dark in the corner. It has the most horrible feeling in the world coming from it. I can't look at it. I never want to see anything that makes me feel like that ever. It might be childhood trauma I've blocked out. I feel like I could eventually deal with that, but this feels more primal. F those dreams. Now, I'm not sure this is a dream. If he's something dark in the corner and really horrible things, energy coming off of it. I mean, I don't know what that is. I think, though, if someone wants to tell you their dreams or something, you should listen, especially children, if they want to, find out what they're experiencing. Nothing worse than growing up feeling like your parents just dismiss you and your feelings. Ken2461 says, now there's a Japanese movie called Ju-On, which is a scary movie. And so this person says, this dream was the result of watching it too young as a kid. The entire dream consists of me by myself in a very old traditional Japanese house, and I was stalked by the grudge the entire time. Go to the toilet? Nah, a hand comes up from the drain. Lay down in bed? Still no. She's in there with me. Literally, everywhere I went, she was there. These dreams felt like hours long, and I would always wake up in a panic. How horrible. Goodness sakes. I've heard some can share a dream. When you share a dream with someone else, that's got to be something really important. Hat Man and Shadow People are asleep when awake, I thought. I think so too, but I mean, If you see like a shadow person, I mean, like we're told all the time, generally I wasn't, but that all this stuff's in your mind. So you'll think you're going crazy, or it's your mind or your subconscious. Maria says, Hatman stands next to my bed when I'm paralyzed. Scary dude. I woke up one time, and I know I was still dreaming. I was cognizant that I was still dreaming. My eyes were open. There was these giant monster things in my room. Spiders and stuff. I mean, they were like ridiculous. And I knew they were just part of my dream. But if I saw a figure standing there, that would freak me out. When I was really small, about 5, when I started to go to sleep, I'd hear this roar like a loud vacuum. And I understand that that's a sound that sometimes you'll hear when you are about to go out of body. It used to be really loud. I remember it, and it's like I often thought, I wonder what that is. I wasn't frightened easily. I guess I was kind of a stalwart child, but it was like very strange. Yeah, it was very loud, very loud, and I think that's the sound of the barrier between this reality and the astral. And when you're passing through it, it's really loud. I mean, I'm just guessing. So you two of you have experienced that. Wow, that makes me feel better, knowing that I'm not the only one that experienced that. Now, some of these I can pretty much say these dreams are probably due to anxiety. Now, this is interesting. They're immobilized in front of an oncoming train. Marked Mo says this, still have it every 6 months or so. I'm on train tracks getting shocked on the live rail. Always feel a buzz. Then I'm on the ground on the tracks and the train is coming and I can't move. Or I can't a bit, my limbs are slow. That sounds like a slight kind of sleep paralysis, and then his brain's making up a dream to go with it, sort of thing. I don't know. Okay, this is by a Swag Pecan. Recurring nightmare. I had the typical, oh no, I'm nude dream a lot when I was younger. My worst nightmare, though, had to be my mother dressed like the Queen Amidala from Star Wars for some reason, injecting my goldfish with a syringe while she laughed maniacally as I pleaded for her to stop. Now that's a weird dream. You ever wonder some of these books? I understand that Stephen King dreams his stories before he writes them. So that's got to, I think that's kind of cheating, though, really. Get your ideas from something. And well, maybe that's just another part of himself. And this another person, Drunk Fawcett. When I was 6, I watched the movie Rumpelstiltskin from 1995. For whatever reason, that guy has stuck with me even today. The movie is laughably bad as an adult, but a 6-year-old brain was not ready. People need to be careful what movies they show their children. Some children can handle it, and some children can't. Now, my eldest had a friend that lived across the street, and they used to get up on the roof and chat and everything. And my son would tell him scary stories because he's a creative kid. Just little kids, it's probably 8 or 9 or something like that. And the father told me that my son can't tell him any more scary stories because he's having nightmares. Well, I find out later this kid's been watching all these movies that are made for adults. These kids are like 7, 8 or so, and he's watching all these very violent and scary movies. But he was accusing my son of causing his son to have nightmares, which I thought was really. I just thought, fine, whatever. They were stupid people. By Redditor Ritara, a big cheese ball. Oh, these are great. A big cheese ball that was holding a boy I liked captive, and a massive eyeball that looked for me through windows. I used to jump off the Titanic a lot and woke up as soon as I hit the water. I felt like my heart was going to burst from my chest. Well, jumping from the Titanic might be a past life memory. Well, that can't be fun. Oh, anyway. So let me ask you. Salted. Hi, Salted Cedar. How are you? You're talking about lucid dreaming and dreams. I have 2 dream dictionaries here, but they just say if you want to have a lucid dream, work on trying to remember them. Okay, so how about you guys tell me an element of your dream, and I'll look it up and tell you whether or not what it means, because I have 2 dream dictionaries here. But I mean, are we all going to start meditating, right? Water. That's at the top of the list. Water. A dream about water can mean various things, but mainly symbolizes being either trapped or free. The meaning depends on what you link with water in your day-to-day life. If it's a large amount of water, it can mean that you have deep emotions or strong emotional reaction to something happening in your life right now. Now, I also, in my other dictionary, talked about what kind of water it is, whether it's clear, fresh, whether it's muddy, things like that, that these are things that you have to take into account, the state of the water that you're in. And let me look up the other one. Goodness sakes. Okay, this other dictionary. Water in your dreams symbolizes your subconscious and emotional state of mind. It talks about if you see calm, clear water, it means you're in tune with your spirituality. It denotes peace of mind. Muddy water means that you're being a little too negative. If water is rising up in your house, suggests you're overwhelmed by your emotions. Running water in your dream, like in a fountain, it means meditation and reflection. To dream you're walking in water seems that it makes you feel like you have total control of your emotions. It suggests that you need to stay on top of your emotions, not let them explode out of hand. To dream of a wall of water coming towards you implies your emotions are welling up and potentially close you off from others or overwhelming you. I mean, there's lots of interesting things, but water is a very powerful dream symbol. Fire and water means you're going through emotional conflict, just drifting along. Well, it seems that you must be feeling pretty good emotionally in that sense, that if it's a calm experience, that's got to be positive. I think you have to look at your emotional state of mind when you're dreaming too. That if you're really upset about something in the dream, that's something to be cognizant of. Is something If something that's normally scary doesn't scare you in a dream, I mean, you need to note that too. Any other symbol you want me to look? A wall of water? Wall of water. It possibly means you're being overcome by the emotional climate that you're living in at the moment, and that you need to watch that you don't close yourself off from others, from the emotions, that they're so intense. That's what the wall of water kind of means. Potentially close you off from others, that you just completely feel blocked off from others. We all have that time. We all have times like that, really, where you just want to say, let me hide. Let me hide behind this wall of water for a while. Hi, Bob. How are you? Any other symbol want me to look up? School, I mean water? Yes, it does. I know they have things about school. I've had some bizarre dreams. Really bizarre dreams where it's really hard to understand what the frick is going on. School. To dream that you are in school signifies feelings of inadequacy and childhood insecurities that have never been resolved. We got all that. We all have those, don't we? It may relate to anxieties about your performance and abilities. If you're still in school and dream about school, then the dream may be just a reflection of your daily life and has no special significance. Alternately, a dream that takes place in school may be a metaphor for the lessons you are learning from your waking life. You may be going through a spiritual learning experience. To dream that you're running away from school means that you are not receptive to new ideas and viewpoints, that you have not learned from your past mistakes. I think a lot of dreaming of school, though, is really a reflection of insecurities. Scott is okay. He just he takes a break from YouTube and stuff, but he's been having trouble with his computer. You've got to see the orb video I put on my site. It's just really, it's very short with his cat. It's really amazing. It really is. It's pretty wild. Yeah, he's been having trouble with his computer too. So he hasn't even been in on the chats sometimes and in the message boards and stuff. So yeah, he's ready to take a hatchet to his computer. I think he's really unhappy about it. So send him good thoughts. Send his computer good thoughts. To dream of your child is good as it is in ruins, unresolved childhood issue. I know that whenever I dream of being in school, it's a very insecure feeling. It's usually it's not a happy feeling. It's usually I'm feeling insecure and inadequate in some way. Well, that's probably because his computer's not is not working very well at the moment. I understand he's okay. We would hear if he wasn't, so he's all right. He's a smart guy. He really is. People think he's a really goofy guy, but he's really pretty smart. I've had conversations with him where he's really sharp and on top of things. He's a smart guy. He's kind of goofy and silly like me, so, you'll assume he's not smart, but he is. He's very smart. Okay. Being trapped. If you've ever had a dream where you feel trapped, it just means you're worried about, he's kind of goofy and smart, kind of like me. If you feel trapped in a dream, it just means that you feel worried about your current situation, your job, your relationship, or the country you're in. It can mean a lot of things. A dream about being trapped in a small space usually means you're just not happy with where you are and you want to change. Dreaming of animals is an interesting thing, because I know when I wanted to find out what my totem animals were, you meditate, and whatever animals come to you when you have yourself in a forest somewhere, and you sit there in your mind, and how in the heck did I get black stuff on my finger? The black spot. It must be from my pen that was leaking. Anyway, that your animal or animals will come to you, and you'll know who they are. I think too, when animals appear in dreams, they can have a lot of meaning, symbolically, or they can, because with the Native Americans, the dreams, if you dream of an animal, that's a very important thing, and you understand the symbolism of what the animal stands for. It's tricky to interpret, and you kind of have to also understand what that animal means to you. Because two people can dream of a certain thing, and it would mean different things because of the way they are, how they feel about it. A dream about food. Black goo. Black goo. If you think of something like something unpleasant, I would make a bet that is a symbol of your anxiety in the waking world, that you're having anxiety, worries, none of us have those, right? No anxiety. A dream about food can mean that you're hungry. I've had lots of dreams where I've just eaten loads and loads of food because I went to bed hungry. Going to bed hungry is a technique you can use to become lucid in a way, because your mind is so focused on finding food that you're likely to be more aware and likely to lucid dream. Yeah, it's funny. I remember when I was taking calculus in college, and I swear that's all I dreamt. That's all I dreamt, was doing maths. It was just nuts. You study a lot on something, and it'll just replay in your brain. Now, there is something that my mom always said was a good idea, was that if you had a question and you wanted an answer, you ask the question to yourself right before you go to bed, and you say, I want to figure out whatever it is. And your brain will work on it through the night, because you have parts of your dream that are never asleep, really. And you can find the answer to things when you wake up. So, that's something I've done before. I don't know if any of you have done it, but you can go to sleep and think about, I want to have a pleasant dream tonight, or I want to have an answer to this question, because I think that spirit side communicates to us in dream time. So, perhaps God or angels can talk to you in dream time and help you, things like that. And that it's a resource for you. You have to think about that part of you that you're not aware of is in charge when you're sleeping. And they may have greater insight and greater connection to information than you have. Oh no, GPK, you dreamt a whole day at work and then you had to wake up and go to work. Oh, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think that when we have a lot of stress, we don't remember our dreams. But if we can calm ourselves down, we will more so. Um, if you have dreams that really, really impact you while you're sleeping, write them down because it's a way of releasing them if they really bothered you. If you write them down, you can kind of release them and say, oh, I've written it down. I don't want to think about it anymore. Now, I've been watching a lot of horror movies because Halloween's coming up in a few months, and I've gotten the point where I can detach enough so that it's not, I don't like gory film. I have trouble with a lot of realistic gore. I don't like that sort of thing. I like the psychological mystery kind of things. A little more than that. But I mean, I don't have it affect my dreams because my conscious mind knows it's not real. Okay. So, you know, I think if you record your dreams, it also helps you separate fantasy from reality. And also, if you lucid dream, it can connect you to a different reality, a reality that we don't have access to. We know as we shift through timelines that there are many realities, there's many dimensions, the scientists say. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on. So being more in control of yourself when you sleep would, I think, be a plus. The dream about a demon is usually related to watching a horror film because we only see pictures and images of that in horror movies. Not a natural thing to dream about. So if you're not a person who watches these kind of things and you have something that you see that's very scary, I think you need to look at other possibilities than the fact that you're having anxiety. You might think about, well, maybe I need to say a prayer before bed and protect myself with white light or whatever. I don't have bad dreams because that's what I usually do. I know it sounds, some of you who aren't very spiritual might think that's kind of silly, but I mean, even if it just gives me, peace of mind before I go to sleep. That sort of thing. ESETI playlist video. Oh, that sounds interesting, Bob. Can you send that to me? I had some really very lucid type dreams where I was on another planet and another planet of people came to take over and I was hiding. And I mean, it was not like a regular dream. My UFO dreams, my alien dreams are very real. And so I think that either part of me that exists in another dimension is experiencing them, or it's another lifetime, or I don't know. I mean, I don't have answers for a lot of this. So, I mean, it's interesting, though, to have this sort of thing. Well, Simon, do you write down these dreams? Because if you did, you might see some kind of commonality, and perhaps, sometimes we dream things because part of us is trying to tell us something. So maybe if you write down your dreams, the part of you that's trying to talk to you, your higher self or your subconscious or whatever, might be satisfied. Maybe the dreams won't be so, unfriendly. Now, a lot of us have fallen in our dreams. I mean, how many of you have fallen in a dream? I've fallen in a dream. It's not fun. Falling dreams are super common among people of all ages. This is because, much like being attacked or injured, we're wired to avoid these dangers. It's said that sometimes dream about really bad things just so your brain is used to experience it and deal with it much easier if it actually happened. We dream about being attacked or chased, the theory says, so that if we're ever attacked, it wouldn't be the most insane, unusual thing ever because our brains have already tested the situation to dream and sort of know the basics. I talked to a MUFON person online many years ago when I had seen a UFO, and they ask you the certain questions, and it's very interesting. So I think a lot of people in the community have either seen UFOs or dreamt them or something. I think there's, if we're in a simulation or whatever we're in, I believe there is intelligent life out there, but I don't think they're necessarily involved with what's happening with us. I don't know. Meetups are fun. I like going to meetups. That must have been an interesting meeting, Bob. Nice. But my email is skookum65@gmail.com. So if you want to send that to me, I would be just tickled purple. Because we'll have to have a chat about UFOs sometime, because I know a lot of you have seen them. Oh, another thing, I've had dreams of being late to something. It was fun. It's kind of nice to meet people that's, face to face, real life, that you can talk to about some bizarre stuff. It's kind of cool. But dreams of being late, nobody likes being late. I've had these dreams. I know probably some of you have as well. Much like many of the other common dreams here, we're just scared of doing certain things. I hope I'm not late is what we think and focus on a lot. I think this is a warning not to focus on negative things. There's something about this world that as time goes by, seems to go by more quickly. We can't get our rest. We're stressed about, you have to do this, that, and the other. We're treated like we're just a number in our society. Oh, well, I don't think I was a contactee. I've had dreams, had some bizarre things, but I don't have any indication of being abducted. Just dreams, and dreams of seeing them, UFOs, actually seeing UFO, and dreams of being on other planets. So, any of you dream of being lost? It usually denotes being anxious or scared about something. It doesn't always mean that. It could be your mind playing tricks on you, saying, that thing that you're terrified of, here's what it feels like. Thanks a lot. Car crashes. I mean, I will give you all these sites so you can look up what your dreams. I think it's important to be aware of what our subconscious is up to, or whatever you want, hyperconscious, subconscious, superconscious, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think that, all this, I'm interested in paranormal and cryptids and myths and traditions and Native American stuff and Chinese stuff and things like this. And because I think as we're going through different timelines or things are changing, that these things are becoming more real. Things that were just myths are being seen all the time now by people, by reputable people. Things that were only myths are becoming real. And you look at the mandanimals, things that were just somebody's fantasy is becoming real. I mean, the rainbow colored everything that we're seeing now is just crazy. Pink elephants and pink dolphins. And well, you can watch Once Upon a Timeline. She's got a lot of those. Um, oh, you got to see Eileen. Cool. Well, they're going to have I guess, some kind of a Mandela effect thing in Idaho, Western. I said, I don't know. I never think of Idaho as being West. I live in California now. We're West. Um, I'm not one to go to things, so I'm a social introvert, but I'd just rather stay home. Yeah, honestly. Um, any other dream symbol you want me to look up? I'd be happy to look it up. This one's got like everything in it. Wow, 25 MA friends. Wow, that's a lot of people. That's cool. Yeah, I think it's important that if we can meet up in person, that we can connect better. And perhaps this is something that'd be good for people, because I think, especially people that don't do a live stream or something, that we are real. We are real people. You're just a name until they see your face. Sometimes. Um, I don't dream of cake. I just wish I had some. Cake denotes selfishness, or the feeling of not getting your fair share. Whoever gets their fair share of cake, really? Really, no one gets their fair share of cake. Well, I'll put up the links, and you guys can look up your dreams, start writing them down. Do 5 minutes of just quieting your mind for just a few minutes. Just start out with just a few minutes. Work your way up. Now, I can go into a pretty deep meditation pretty quickly because I've done it so much. So I have no excuse. I have no excuse for not meditating. I'm just being a lazy butt. But just for a few minutes. You can even, they have the thing with the candle meditation. You can light a candle, look at the flame. Counting your breaths with your eyes closed is also going to work. And don't worry if you fall asleep for a few minutes. That's okay. Maybe you should try meditating at bedtime if you have trouble sleeping, right? Oh, no problem. No problem. No problem. These live chats, I just have a topic to help promote discussion. But we can talk about anything. We can. No big deal. I'm not just a talking head. We're having a conversation. You and I, each one of you. And you can bring up anything, really. You can bring up anything. Because, I believe it's all connected. I really do. I think everything is connected, that there's something that if we pay attention enough to the world around us, that we will learn what is going on, at least for us personally. I cannot see the world and interpret it through your eyes. Only you can do that. Only you can write down your dreams. Only you can do your meditation. All I can do is encourage you and try to do it myself as well. It was funny the other day, before I sign off here, my daughter is learning all these things about me that she didn't know, because for much of my marriage, I was oppressed by the religion I belonged to, as well as the person I was married to. And so my children didn't get to know me very well. Well, they're all adults now, so they can get to know me. And I'll leave you this way. My children think I'm crazy, but what they don't know is that it's hereditary. So they better get used to it. So thank you so much for coming to spend a little time with me. It means a lot to me. Uh, you all take care. I'm working. I'm still working. They say the creative process, you just have to wait till it marinates in your head. And my son has agreed to narrate my next video because I just thought I just don't have the right voice for it. I mean, I just, till I get more confident when I speak, and be a little more dramatic, I guess. I just thought, it'd be so nice if he would narrate it for me. So I got to type up a transcript, have him narrate it, then put the film together. Editing is fun, but it's challenging. And I want to do good jobs when I do it. Thank you so much. And I will look forward to anything you share with me, either through email or whatever. I appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Keep asking questions. Be curious. Take care, everybody. And thank you so much. You take care, and I'll see you guys. If you guys have stuff going on in your chat, in your channels, I'll try to make pop in there too. I try to do that. Everybody take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.